Hi everyone, my name is Maria Dismondy and I'm a children's book author and blogger for the blog titled Be the Difference. I'm doing a video blog series this summer and I'm talking about different tips and fun things that you can do with your own children, possibly the children that you maybe babysit or nanny, or if you're a school teacher, things you can do with the children in your classroom. This one might not pertain to teachers, but it's always something that you could do in the classroom. What I'm talking about today is different learning activities that you can do in car rides, short car rides. I know as a parent, we're in the car, we're running from here to there and everywhere. And so we try to make our time in the car really valuable and meaningful. So let me tell you about some of the things that we do. First, we'll talk about math. One of the things we do in the car is counting back and forth. So it goes between my 5-year-old and I, and my 2-year-old is getting involved now too. So we'll count by ones, we'll count by 2s, 5s, 10s, and we'll go all the way up to 100 and beyond. It's just something you can do repetitive over and over again. Those kids are strapped into their car seats. They can't go anywhere. They've got to listen to you and learning. Are we always learning in the car? No. Let me start off by telling you before you turn off this video, there are times that we just crank up the tunes, whether it be Frozen or whether it's my music, and we just jam and we sing our hearts out and we sing to the top of our lungs. We roll the windows down and we just let it go. However, there are times that we also do other things. So let me tell you about some of the other things. We'll make up a story. So I'll begin the story and we'll kind of go around and everyone tells a part of the story. So we work on storytelling. We also retell familiar stories. So, hey, let's talk about the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And so, between my children and I will retell that story. Or sometimes it's just me retelling the story. Another thing is turtle talk. So we'll pretend like we're turtles and we'll try to sound out different words. And we'll stretch them out really slow like a turtle. So, for example, the word candy. I'll stretch it out, canned. E, and we'll talk about each sound we hear. C-A-N-D. D. We hear an E at the end, and that's a good time for me to say, typically when you hear an E at the end of the word, it's going to be a Y, kind of like in the name Cindy. And then I can make that connection to my daughter's name, because her name ends with a Y and the E sound. So we'll do turtle talk. Another thing is called Toss the Rhyme. It's a little game I learned as a teacher, and this is something you can do in the classroom. Rhyming is super duper important for children to learn early literacy skills. So what you're going to do is just toss the rhyme back and forth between your children. So I say the word mat, you say the word hat. So it has to rhyme. Mat, hat, fat, cat, sat, and it just keeps going back and forth. Okay, so that's good for rhyming. Rhyming is, like I said, an important skill, and it's a skill that we have to be able to hear in order to understand how it works. Another one is clap-a-words. Syllables are really great for learning to read and write, so let's take a really long word. Now, if you're the driver, you're going to want to do this when you're parked, or you're stopped at a red light, or let your kids take over the clapping. So let's go ahead and do the word table. Table. Let's do the word watermelon. Watermelon. Whoa, that had a lot of syllables in it. How many syllables? Watermelon. How many times did we clap? Watermelon. Excellent. So that's how that works. Let's see. I think I talked about oh, here's another one. Sometimes we do nursery rhymes, so we'll just sing nursery rhymes, simple ones, back and forth. And finally, last but not least, I love this one. I read this in a book I recently, it was called Hands-Free Mama, and it was a really good book on just being more connected with your kids, putting the phone down, letting go of screen time, and really making time with your kids meaningful. And one of the things I learned from her was to talk in the car. So not just listening to music, not just turning the television, but to actually talk to your kids and talk about how things are going at school. And then she talked about open-ended questions or what-if questions. So some of the things were, okay, what would you do if you were a grown-up? What is something that you would do different if you were a grown-up and you weren't a kid? I asked my daughter that, and she had a funny answer. It was something like, I wouldn't go to bed early. I would stay up really late. So just being able to ask your kids silly questions like that. Or what would you do if you could take a vacation anywhere? Or what would you do if you were the grown-up and you had to make dinner? What would you make for dinner? So just questions like that to be able to let your kids be open with you, and you just develop that trust and that conversation together, making car rides a little more meaningful. I hope you got something out of my video today, and I look forward to sharing more fun tips that I've learned on my journey as both a teacher and as a parent. I'll see you next week. Bye!